There was once a small, ancient village hidden between two mountains where everything had a rule. The houses were built the same. The clothes were stitched the same. The roads twisted and turned the same way for generations. The people believed that the more they followed the old ways, the safer and happier they would be. Among them lived a boy named Elon. Elon was different. Even as a child, he would ask questions no one wanted to answer. Why can't our houses have round roofs instead of flat ones? Why can't we paint our clothes with colors from the forest? Why do we always walk the long way around the mountain instead of finding a shortcut? The elders would shake their heads and whisper, "Elon thinks too much. Elon dreams too much." And Elon grew up, carrying those whispers like invisible stones on his back. One year, a great problem struck the village. The river, their only source of water, suddenly changed its course after a fierce storm. Crops began to wither. Animals left. Panic spread like wildfire. The village elders gathered in the square. They pored over ancient scrolls, repeated ancient prayers, rebuilt old canals, everything they had ever known to do. But the river didn't return. The fields turned dry and cracked under the sun. Desperation filled the air. Families started packing to leave, believing their home was cursed. Hope was a dying ember. One evening, Elon stood at the river's empty bed, staring at the cracked earth. He picked up a small stone, rolled it in his palm, and asked himself, is the problem that the river left? Or is the problem that we never imagined living without it? The next morning, Elon called a meeting. At first, only a handful of villagers showed up, more out of curiosity than hope. He stood in the center of the old square, heart pounding, voice steady. "What if," he said, "instead of waiting for the river to return, we build something that doesn't need it at all?" The villagers murmured in confusion. "No river? No life," someone shouted. "It's impossible," yelled another. But Elon had spent sleepless nights thinking, dreaming differently. He unrolled his idea. They would dig deep wells under the earth, tapping into underground water they had never used before. They would collect rainwater during the storms instead of letting it wash away. They would plant different crops, ones that needed less water to thrive. The elders frowned. "This has never been done before," they said. "It's dangerous to leave the old ways." But for the first time, others in the crowd stirred with a different feeling, curiosity. Because while the old ways brought them safety before, now they were leading them to certain death. A few brave souls, young and a few old, joined Elon. Together, they began digging. Days turned into weeks. Hands blistered, backs ached. Failures came like waves, dry pits, broken tools, stubborn soil. But every failure taught them something new. They adapted. They experimented. They thought differently, acted differently. One evening, as the sun dipped low, a sound rang out that the village hadn't heard in months. A gurgling, rushing sound, like a heartbeat from deep within the earth. Water. Cheers exploded across the dusty fields. Tears streamed down weathered faces. The village, once destined to be abandoned, breathed again. And not just that, it thrived. Their wells gave fresh water year-round. Their rain collectors became marvels that other villages came to learn about. Their fields turned green with new crops that tasted sweeter than ever. Years later, travelers passing through would marvel at this unique village, where nothing looked like the old traditional settlements. Colorful houses dotted the hills. Painted clothes fluttered in the wind. Shortcuts wound cleverly through the mountains. And at the center of it all stood a statue, not of a king, not of a warrior, but of a young boy holding a simple stone in his hand, forever asking the silent question, what if there's another way? Elon never saw himself as a hero. He simply asked different questions when everyone else was asking the same old ones. He dared to imagine new paths when everyone else was afraid to leave the old road. Thinking outside the box isn't magic. It's a choice, a daily decision to ask, what if the box itself was just an idea someone else left behind? The next time you find yourself stuck, struggling, or scared, remember Elon. Remember the river that never returned. Remember the wells that no one believed could exist. True innovation, true change, true freedom. They don't live inside the safety of old rules. They are found when you look at the empty riverbed, pick up a stone, and whisper to yourself, maybe, just maybe, there's a better way. And if you dare to believe that, if you dare to dream differently, you won't just change your own life. You might just change the world.